Hi, I'm Rachel Gray and welcome to my cooking channel. Today I'm going to bring you along as I make some homemade granola. The first thing we're going to use is some old-fashioned oats. You don't want the instant kind, you want the old-fashioned kind. So we're going to take 3 cups of oats and put them into a bowl. 'To our oats, we're going to add 1 cup of nuts. Now, I like the pecan, but you could use a mixture of nuts or whatever nut that you like. Just 1 cup. And a tip for you is to store your nuts in the freezer. They'll last much longer in the freezer and you can just chop them right out of the freezer. And these are just the half of a pecan. So just give them a rough chop. And then add them into the bowl. I also like coconut, so I'm gonna put some coconut into my granola. You need about 1/2 cup. Now that I have my oats and my pecans and my coconut in the bowl, we're going to add 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Now the brown sugar kind of helps it stay together and it gives it that, it's sweet, but it also helps give it that kind of chewy texture. So I need 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar. Three-fourths of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of powdered ginger. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mix those together with the spatula. Just break up your brown sugar a little bit, and it already smells delicious. Now all we have left to do is sort of bind it together. So we're going to use 1/3 cup of honey, and I'm just using clover honey. And I'm going to take this honey and I'm going to put it into a small saucepan. Then to my honey, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm going to heat this up until it is emulsified together. So I'm not going to use too hot of a heat. And I'm just going to stir it. And one of the reasons I really love this granola recipe is because it doesn't have a ton of oil in it. So once your honey and your oil have been emulsified, then we're just going to go ahead and add that to our granola. Then just toss that oil honey mixture right in. Try to break up any clumps of brown sugar that you see. And stir it really well. It takes a while for everything to get incorporated together. I'm gonna pour my mixture on silicone mat, baking mat lined pan. You don't have to, if you don't have silicone, a baking mat, like a Silpat, you could use parchment paper as well. I'm just gonna pour this onto my pan and then evenly distribute it. So I've got my oat coconut pecan mixture spread on this pan, and now I'm going to bake it in the oven for 30 minutes on 300 degrees, and then I'm going to stir it after 10 minutes and after 20 minutes. So I'll check back with you then. Okay, so I have 1 more minute left on my granola, so I'm going to go over the fruit really quickly, because if you want it to be like in clumps, you have to work quickly after it's done. I'm going to pull out the granola and then I'm going to add 1 cup of dried fruit. You can add whatever dried fruit you want. Today I have a mixture of blueberries and cherries and craisins. And then I'm just going to stir that in really fast, and then I'm going to push it back down onto the pan and then let it cool that way. And as it cools, it's gonna clump together. This is kind of a loose granola anyway. So this is what it looks like. All of the oats and the coconut and the nuts are all toasted nice and evenly because we've been stirring it along the way. And I'm gonna hurry and stir in the fruit. Try to get that as even as I can. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and spread it out again. And then push it down with the back of my spatula. So there you have it, homemade granola. I really love this granola. And I'm really sort of into this Noosa yogurt right now, and I just take a little bit of this and sprinkle it on the top, and yeah, it's really a yummy breakfast. So try this at home. I know you're gonna love it. You can find this recipe and over 200 other recipes on my blog, cookingwithrachel101.com. Don't forget to like this video and push this button and subscribe.